Total Pro Sports presents the 15 most disappointing franchises in sports history. For some sports fans, life is great. The city of Boston has seen more than plenty of titles in the 2000s and 2010s. Chicago has seen its White Sox end a long World Series-less streak and a Blackhawks dynasty. Pittsburgh has seen multiple Steelers championships and a Penguins Stanley Cup. But some teams have been so bad for so long, there hasn't been a lot of hope in their city. Here are the 15 most pathetic franchises in pro sports. Number 15, Seattle Mariners. The M's wasted so many glorious years with Ken Griffey Jr., Randy Johnson, Ichiro, Alex Rodriguez, and Edgar Martinez. The franchise started up in 1977, but heading into the 2016 season, they had made it to the playoffs only 4 times and had never made it to a World Series. They made it to the 1995 and 2001 ALCS, but lost both times. Fans wonder if they'll ever get to celebrate something. Number 14, Buffalo Bills. Aside from losing 4 straight Super Bowls in the 1990s, if that even calls for a celebration, the city of Buffalo hasn't had anything much to celebrate when it comes to pro football. From Scott Norwood's wide right field goal attempt in Super Bowl 25 to the subsequent heartbreakers in the playoffs, Buffalo fans wonder if anything good will come to them. The 2000s and 2010s were plagued with top 10 NFL picks, not just playoff spots. Number 13, New York Knicks. The attendance figures back up that the city of New York has stayed loyal to their basketball team, but the play on the court over the years hasn't been mutual. The Knicks closed out their 2016 season that made it 43 years without an NBA championship and 17 years without a trip to the NBA Finals. Though they were a thrilling team in the 90s, the new millennium didn't bring too much joy, even with superstar Carmelo Anthony arriving. Number 12, Jacksonville Jaguars. For Jaguars fans, they've had the luxury of not going through 50-something years of pain. The franchise has only been around since 1995 after all, but still, aside from 6 playoff appearances that didn't bring them anywhere close to a Super Bowl, the fans haven't had much to celebrate. The 2015 season brought them 8 years in a row without a playoff spot. With controversial ownership and terrible on-the-field play, the franchise hasn't done a lot for their fans. We'll see if that changes. Number 11, Cincinnati Bengals. The Bengals have broken their fans' hearts in both ways possible. A, playoff heartbreak, and B, straight-up struggling heartache. A team that's been around since 1968, the Bengals made the playoffs 14 times between 1970 and 2015. From 1991 to 2004, they failed to qualify for the playoffs. Their crushing loss in Super Bowl 23 to the San Francisco 49ers in the last minute was the worst. But even in the Andy Dalton, Marvin Lewis era, 5 straight playoff years yielded 0 playoff wins. Number 10, Vancouver Canucks. The Canucks joined the NHL in 1970, giving fans in British Columbia a Canadian NHL team to cheer for that wasn't Toronto or Montreal based. The team went through perennial regular season struggles at times in the 1970s, 80s, 90s, and 2010s, but their playoff meltdowns were awful for Canuck fans. They lost devastating Cup finals in 1994 and 2011, the latter being on home ice. Number 9, New York Jets. The good news, the Jets have a Super Bowl in their history. The bad news, that was in 1969, a long time ago when most Jets fans weren't even born. During the 2010 season, the Jets had qualified for the playoffs for the 14th time ever. They lost back-to-back AFC championships in 2009 and 2010, and a major rebuild was won. Number 8, Toronto Maple Leafs. Yes, the Maple Leafs have the second most Stanley Cups at 13, but their last parade was in 1967. The Leafs were a perennial playoff team in the 70s, 80s, late 90s, and early 2000s. From 2006 to 2016, they made the playoffs once, but their epic Game 7 meltdown in 2013 against the Boston Bruins went to show how much pain they've caused the fans. Number 7, Oakland Raiders. Well, 3 Super Bowls isn't bad, but those occurred when the franchise was located in Los Angeles. Since the move in 1995, Raiders fans have gone through a ton of disappointment. The Raiders qualified for the playoffs in 2000, 2001, and 2002, all ending in terrible fashion for the Raiders. Number 6, Arizona Coyotes. Dear Gary Bettman, the Coyotes should not have moved from Winnipeg. The attendance is always among the league's worst. Even after their trip to the Western Conference Finals in 2012, the franchise has lost millions of dollars, and the franchise should be in Seattle, Quebec City, or traditional hockey market. Yours sincerely, Total Pro Sports. Number 5, New Orleans Pelicans. The franchise was founded in 2002, but with their disappointment, the fans may not even call the team much of a reward. After the 2016 season, the Pelicans had qualified for the playoffs 6 times, but just winning 1 series. At least they have Anthony Davis. Number 4, Sacramento Kings. To be fair, it hasn't been easy playing in a division with Kobe Bryant's Los Angeles Lakers, Blake Griffin's LA Clippers, and the Golden State Warriors. Enough said on the latter. From 1999 to 2006, the Kings made the playoffs every year. Despite winning 5 playoff series in that span, there was no NBA Finals series to show for it. The Kings closed out 2016 with a 10-year playoff drought. Number 3, Philadelphia Eagles. Donovan McNabb and Terrell Owens were stars that couldn't get Philly over the hump. The current Eagles team has been around since 1947, winning 3 NFL championships. However, they still want that first Super Bowl. 24 playoff appearances after 2013 is great, but with all of that playoff success, they've only made it to 2 Super Bowls, losing in 1980 and 2004. Perhaps someone will save them one day. Number 2, Chicago Cubs. We have felt inclined to put them at number 1, but given their magical 2015 run and the fact that Chris Bryant, Anthony Rizzo, and Jake Arrieta form a deadly trio of stars, we'll bet the farm people will stop laughing at them now. But the Cubs entered 2016 looking for their first World Series since 1908 and the first appearance in the Big Dance since 1945. To sum it up, it's been years of horrendous regular season play and playoff letdowns. See 2003 NLCS. But yeah, it was easy to laugh at their struggles for years by pundits. And number 1, Cleveland Browns. Everyone has poked fun at Cleveland when it comes to sports success. That's mainly due to what the Browns have and have not done. Yes, they've won 4 NFL championships, but they've been a mess in the Super Bowl era. From 1995 to 2015, they made it to the playoffs once. They've had a knack for drafting complete busts from Tim Couch to Trent Richardson, while seemingly finding a new head coach every year. What sports team has let you down the most? Tell us in the comments section below. If you enjoyed this video, please click like. If you didn't subscribe, now's a good time to do so. We upload 7 videos a week. As always, we thank you so much for watching.